Okay, perfect. So we're going to move swiftly on. Thank you, Kat and Ryan, for coming on. If you guys want to connect with them, please reach out to them. Their details, their LinkedIn details and so forth are in the chat. But we're going to move on now to looking at the integration of medical technology into health systems with Lauren Schafer, Director at Startup Health, and also part of the Breakthrough Alliance Board too at HITLAB. And she'll be interviewing Vicenç Ferrer from Mediktor, who also came through the Breakthrough Challenge. So lots of breakthrough folks on today. Over to you, Lauren. Lauren, I think you're on mute.
Yes, I was. Thank you. Thanks, Jerry, and great to be with you all today. I'm Lauren, like Jerry said, Director of Ventures at Startup Health. For those of you that aren't familiar with Startup Health, our mission is to improve the health and well-being of everyone in the world. And we do that by organizing, supporting, and investing in health founders and their companies. We've worked with over 430 companies to date, one of them being Mediktor. So really excited to share this conversation with you today and for you all to meet Vicenç and Mediktor. So with that, Vicenç, would love to have you start by sharing a bit of your background and giving us the story of Mediktor.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys, for having us today. My name is Vicenç Ferrer. I am the Managing Director of Mediktor New York City office, from where we coordinate and lead the expansion of Mediktor into the US market and to a lesser extent, the Canadian market. So before, I would say that it was back in 2013 when I first worked in the healthcare industry. At that time, I was working for BioVenture Investors, a venture capital firm based out in Boston. And ever since, I've been back and forth across the aisle working with innovative companies, startup companies, using different technologies like AI, machine learning, virtual reality, natural language processing, etc. Before that, long time ago, I was a corporate investment banker for Santander Bank here in New York City. A little bit about Mediktor, and just in a nutshell, for those that are not familiar, Mediktor is a care navigation assistant that leverages proprietary AI, machine learning, natural language process algorithms in order to offer patients on-demand personalized healthcare guidance at the first onset of symptoms, basically for acute and episodic care. This is in a nutshell. I assume that in the interview, we'll be able to get into detail about what we do.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for that introduction. And we've had the chance at Startup Health to work with Mediktor for the last 6 years and seen you all go to market in Europe and have a lot of success there. And we're really excited that you're now focused on the US and starting with Columbia Memorial Hospital. It'd be great for the audience to hear a bit more about that relationship and what you're doing with Columbia.
Yeah, absolutely. This is actually one of our latest projects here in the States. Mediktor is enabling CMH to direct patients to the appropriate level of care on a safe, convenient, cost-effective way, reducing wait times, and also eliminating unnecessary interactions and steps when it comes to access healthcare, right? So if you think of a very fragmented ecosystem where most of the organizations operate under a fee-for-service model, CMH ability to improve the overall patient experience and quality of service is helping them driving more patients toward their facilities, right? So in this strategy, Mediktor is playing a key role when it comes to demand generation, as well as the capture of long-term customer value, which are sophisticated words to say basically patient acquisition and loyalty, right?
Yeah, and I'd love to dive into that a bit more and understand in detail how this partnership and how you're really leveraging the Mediktor technology to drive patients to Columbia.
Yeah, absolutely. So what they are using is our white label software as a service solution that lives in their website, in their app, and also in various landing pages that they have created, both generalist and condition specific. And I think that the best way to understand how this technology works for them is if we imagine a patient upstate New York in the Hudson Valley, where CMH is located, and this person feels symptoms, right, under the weather. So there are two scenarios here. There may be an established patient, meaning that there is an existing relationship previous with CMH. So this person is likely to visit the website of CMH, their app, And there they're going to be prompted to engage with our care navigation assistant, right? Then they are going to be offered a free text where they're going to input with her own plain words how she feels, what are the symptoms. And this is going to trigger guided process of around questions and answers, less than, on average, 14 questions, 2 minutes. And then we're going to be able, always according to CMH, to tell them what's next step, what they should be doing. And in this case, is basically telemedicine, PCP, or urgent care. And the second scenario, which is for us, far more interesting, is for non-established patients, people that they don't know about CMH. So this person is likely to go to Google, right? And Google symptoms. We know how dangerous is Dr. Google, but we all do that, at least those without a background, like clinical background, like my case. So thanks to a very sophisticated SEM, SEO strategy, what we are doing is locating in top searches some of those landing pages that contain educational content, both general or condition specific. So this person typing those keywords is going to be prompted to go to that link, to that landing page. And there is where Mediktor is going to live as well. And it's going to take the same process I described in the previous scenario, right? Of introducing symptoms and then suggesting what would be next step.
Right. And how as you've been working so closely with them to launch this, can you talk to us a bit about the implementation process? I'm assuming there's some health system, hospital stakeholders on this call, and they can be kind of thinking about how they could use Mediktor at their institutions.
Yeah, no, exactly. And for us, the implementation process is, I would say, the most important part of a project. And that being said by me, who is basically focused on business development and sales, right? So something that I believe that sets Mediktor apart from other companies in the space, not just competitors, but digital health, is that once we close a deal, we will pair the sales representative for that deal along with the project manager, and further on then with the customer success manager, to make sure that we basically comply with one thing, which is delivering what we agreed upon, right? When it comes to this specific project, to be honest, the technology part was very simple, partly because CMH had done their homework on their end, and they had everything ready to set our solution there. And I would say that another thing that I think was relevant in this implementation process was the fact that the decision maker on CMH side, Dr. Pope, appointed a very capable person to execute and implement the project, a very talented coordinator that was pulling people, resources from different departments. And for those that we have worked with hospital and health systems in the past, we know that sometimes this can be very challenging, right? So big bravo for CMH, because they did a terrific job, and it's a pleasure to work with them.
That's incredible to hear. And as you think about the future with Columbia, and you're looking at continuing to build on this partnership, what's a goal or vision that you have, either from your end or from Columbia's end in your discussions for this relationship?
Exactly. So the main goal for this project is patient acquisition, right? So what we have done with them is basically make sure that we are tracking this properly and we are adding value to them. So we have done the baseline, identify how much traffic the endpoints that we have integrated into Mediktor were receiving before launching Mediktor. And now we're going to track how our solution, along with the SEM, SEO strategy, is going to drive them more traffic, right? Our goal in this case is to increase by 20% what we call patient qualified leads, meaning a person that has gone through the assessment and it makes sense for this person to visit a doctor, right? Apart from that, another thing that CMH was very interested in was the patient satisfaction. And in this case, this is something that we are still working on, how we can assess this. We are thinking of launching like a number of surveys. We don't know if right after Mediktor interaction or a couple of weeks after the whole interaction, where we're going to gather quantitative and qualitative information to make sure that whatever happens offline, we do online, and we basically are aligned with the satisfaction measures that CMH is aiming for.
Great, and really exciting to hear about the opportunities both with Columbia and I think many other opportunities to continue to work with other systems and help drive patients, and really awesome hearing how easy the implementation side is. As we wrap up here, if you could leave the audience with one takeaway from today's discussion, and particularly the health system audience, what would that be?
Well, one is tough. Let's do two. So I would say that generally speaking, the chief marketing officers, digital officers, innovation officers, VPs of telemedicine that may be hearing us, I would say you should embrace digital innovation in order to transform healthcare business model from a patient-centric perspective way, right? Specific to Mediktor, just reiterate for those that may be interested in working with us that Mediktor allows hospitals and health systems to improve the patient engagement, the patient experience, and the patient retention. And we are able to do so thanks to offering patients a true, seamless, omni-channel access to healthcare and care navigation experience. And the last one, very fast, data, data, and data. We are moving to a data-centric model. And the fact that Mediktor can aggregate and leverage real-time actionable data, it's very good for health systems, both spheres, clinical and management. So that's about it.
Love it. Thank you. Well, I'll pass it back over to Jerry, but Vicenç, it was great to chat today, and to the HITLAB team, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you, Lauren, for conducting that wonderful conversation with Vicenç. And Vicenç, your information will be in the chat as well as Lauren's if anybody wants to connect. But we are going to move swiftly on. Thank you both so much for your time.